Well, would you look at that? All those stupid Christians predicting the end of the world again. I mean, these Christians have done it again. They said their magic sky daddy was coming yesterday to take them all to heaven, and if we didn't accept Jesus, we were going to be left behind in a terrible world and we were going to regret it all. This is what a lot of people are probably saying today. Um, Christians are often ridiculed by unbelievers because of their claims of an end times, believing in things like the rapture. But for some reason, when it comes to the secular world, doomsday ideas are okay. For example, you'll mock Christians, but yet climate change. Now, I'm not saying that there is nothing to climate change. I'm not saying that there is something. I'm just saying, just as a general rule, that climate change is a huge concern that a lot of people have. And from 2019 to 2020, we spent over worldwide $632 billion on climate change mitigation efforts. And this is considered a drop in the bucket for the $90 trillion the experts say we need to spend by 2030. So if you look at our world GDP, it's 13% of the world's GDP every year needs to be spent to stop global climate change. Or take high-profile figures like Elon Musk, who's the modern-day Edison or the real-world Tony Stark, as some call him. He has a company, Tesla. He started a company called SpaceX. And all these, Tesla is to combat climate change. And then SpaceX is to make our species multiplanetary. So, we're going to try to send people to Mars and stuff, and we're going to spend anywhere from $100 billion to $10 trillion to send people to Mars to build a colony. I am a little bit of a space nerd. I will tell you, I love the idea of being able to go to other planets, but it's not going to be as easy as people think. It's not going to be these dome cities are just going to pop up. If you take a real serious hard look at what it takes to go to Mars and establish a colony that's going to live there, there are tons of technical challenges that we still have yet to conquer. Just getting there is the first hurdle. Once you get there, there's a lot of hurdles that no one's really talked about. And then look at the media and entertainment industry. It makes up $2.7 trillion as a worldwide industry. Now, granted, entertainment is entertainment, but look at the obsession in our entertainment with doomsday scenarios. You've got from the documentary type series that talks about the Yellowstone super volcano, the universal or the universe type series where they're talking about how asteroids and cosmic rays and gamma ray burst, all these things can take us out. But then you've got the purely fictional stuff like Walking Dead, The Last of Us. You've got all these forms of entertainment. But then you've got the news media. That's part of media. Have you ever watched the Weather Channel? The Weather Channel, every storm is the worst storm ever. When you watch the news, there's always something that's trying to kill us, or if we don't fix it, it's going to kill us all. It's going to wipe us out. It's going to destroy us. All these things. It's a $2.7 trillion industry looking to grow to over $6 trillion by 2032. And I've got links in the description below for all these numbers I put up on this slide. So when you compare that, are we Christians really so crazy in believing in the last days? I mean, okay, the first thing takes some faith that Christ promised that he would return. So, yes, that takes faith. Maybe you don't believe in God. and that's certainly your prerogative. Uh, the Bible describes things that were technologically impossible 100 years ago, let alone 200 years ago. There's things in Bible prophecy talking about two prophets in Jerusalem getting killed, their bodies being left laying dead in the streets, and people watch everybody in the whole world seeing that for 3.5 days. That was written over 2,000 or almost 2,000 years ago. You know, Today you write something like that, but that was unthinkable, even 100 years ago. Um, and then just all our technology and all the technological increases we've had. The Bible predicts a general cultural decline in the last days, extreme materialism, lawlessness, and widespread violence. We see it on the news every night. It seems we've gotten to the point where seeing a riot on TV is not a big deal. Departure from the Christian faith. People have given up on God. People, for the most part, have given up on religion. We're a post-God society. God is a myth. He's fiction. Incompetent government leaders leading to the need for globalism. We have a lot of countries, mine included, America, that, and this isn't a Republican or Democrat thing. You got incompetence on all sides, and that's causing people to say, maybe we need just a global government. We need to get the best and brightest. Financial crises happening all over the world. And this is causing us to rethink what is economics, and maybe we need to unify economics. Drug usage, obsession with self-pleasure, religious con men were predicted in the Bible, people making money off folks, just general rejection of God, intense demonic activities mentioned, and maybe this is stuff that's masquerading as all this alien or paranormal stuff. Technology leading to transhumanism, lack of empathy for the innocent. I'm not that old, but like things like school shootings and stuff like that never happened. Or, obviously as a Christian, I'm pro-life, but the glee with which people go after or want to support, abortion, but yet if a pregnant woman is in a store that wants to have a child, gets shot in the abdomen, and that baby dies, we want to convict that guy that shot her unborn baby as a murderer. But if she chooses to get rid of the baby, that's fine. So murder is defined by a choice, which leads to the lack of any sort of moral conscience. The reason I picked the examples I did is because if you look, I think it's fair to say that we spend trillions of dollars in the secular world trying to stave off all these things that are supposedly, if we don't do this stuff now, we're not going to have a planet to live on in 10, 20, 30, 40 years. That's okay, but we Christians are the crazy ones. Yes, it takes faith to believe what I believe, but it also takes faith to believe what you believe. Again, and a big differentiator between my faith beliefs and your faith beliefs is I don't ask you to pay for my faith beliefs. I'm a taxpayer, and the products I buy and the companies you tax and everything, I pay to fight climate change. I pay to help Elon Musk and others develop rockets to go to Mars so that we can have people on other planets. Nobody pays for us Christians to have our churches, our synagogues, our mosque, those of us that are people of faith. We don't get government assistance, even media. You have state-supported television networks. It's not so common here in the U.S., but British, Australian, Canadian, most of their TV stations are publicly funded. So, uh, you know, and before you say, oh, well, religious organizations are tax exempt, yes, they are. But a lot of religious organizations also spend a lot of the revenue they generate to help people, whether they're people of their faith or not. So, um, before you start celebrating today and jumping up and down and being all excited that some people were saying, first, don't assume all us Christians believed everything that they say. I do believe that the Lord is coming soon. I do believe he can come tomorrow. He could come tonight. Uh, I'm not saying he's, 20, 30 years away, but I believe he is coming soon, but I'm not putting a date on it. I'm not going to put a date on it. Some people have gotten very exuberant and put dates on things that are pure speculation. But I can point to people in the secular world thinking maybe Al Gore and some other folks, do we really want to do the exercise of going through everything they said? And would you like to be judged by the claims they made that turned out to be totally bogus? So think about that before you hop on social media and all these other places and go to make fun of all us Christians. Uh, you know, I believe the faithful are looking. We're looking for the return of Christ. It can be any day. We don't know when that day is going to be. That's been my position on my channel. Other folks have speculated about how things will go down, but the truth is, at the end of the day, we don't know. Bible prophecy is very complex, just like climate change is very complex. So people make predictions all the time in climate change, and they get it wrong because it's a complex issue. It's not something that you can boil it down to a YouTube 60-minute short or a TikTok video and get the full picture of. So until next time, have a great day. And if you don't know Christ as your Lord and Savior, feel free to check out my channel and see if there's anything to this salvation stuff we're talking about. I've got several videos for you to look at, and you don't have to believe what I believe. It's ultimately your choice at the end of the day. I'm not going to beat you over the head with it. Have a great day.